Hi, this is Mitchell Nasser,
This is Pinzon.
Hi, this is Adrian Mendoza.
and our database project was a roofing business database solution. This project provides a database system designed to modernize the operations within the roofing business by managing customer information, project details, inventory of materials, employee scheduling, and financial management. This application aims to provide a more efficient means of data storage, tracking, and integration within the roofing business workflows. And here's Adrian.
So today I want to talk through our entity relationship diagram. Its purpose is to clearly define the key pieces of information we need to track, like customers, projects, employees, and how all of these pieces relate to one another. The boxes represent our entities, which become our tables in our database. Here's a few examples, which are the customers, project, payment. Inside each box are the attributes, the specific details stored for that entity, like first name for a customer or deadline for a project. The PK marks the primary key, our identifier for each entry in that entity. The lines connecting the boxes show the relationships between these entities. The symbols at the end of the lines tell us the cardinality of how many records in one entity can be linked to records in another. A customer, for example, if you look at the customer makes payment, the symbol tells us one customer can make one or more payments, but each payment belongs directly to one customer. Similarly, if we look at the customer schedules appointment, again, one customer can schedule one or more appointments, and each appointment is linked back directly to one customer. And if you go to project, you look at customer and project relation. Customer owns project. It shows a project is owned by one or more customers. Uh, and if you look at the project entity, this tracks essential project data like its ID, location, key dates, and current status. Each project has an estimate entity, uh, which this is a one-to-one relationship. Uh, Likewise, if you look at the compliance entity, project has a compliance record for permits or regulatory requirements. This is also one-to-one. And then following the payment entity, we can see that it yields a performance record. This is another one-to-one link. It suggests that for each payment received, we tracked associated performance metrics like rating, customer feedback, and profitability just stored in that performance entity. And if we look at appointments, they are handled by employees. The notation here suggests that an appointment is handled by many or one. Uh, the employment entity stores staff details like name, role, contact info. Employees also manage materials. An employee can manage zero or more materials, and the material record uh, can be managed by one or more. Our entities, such as project, customer, estimate, appointment, and material, within the ER diagram, models our roofing business, which is involved in delivering projects and services. Now I will hand it over to Kevin.
Here's our database. We use Microsoft Server Management Studio. Now it will show all the data from each table. Here's all the data for the customer table, such as customer ID, the first name, last name, the phone number, email, street address, as well as insurance info. Next, we will show the data for the project the table, such as project ID, customer ID, location, deadline, status, and employee ID. Then we'll show the data for all the estimate table, such as estimate ID, project ID, the estimate cost labor, estimate cost materials, and total estimate. Next, we will show the data for the components table, such as permit ID, project ID, permit type, approval status, expiration date. And then here is the data for the performance table. Such as performance ID, payment ID, business rating, the customer feedback, and the profit margins. Here is the data for the appointment table, such as the appointment ID, customer ID, the employee ID, the employee date, and the appointment time. Here's all the data for the employee table, such as the employee ID, the employee first name, the employee last name, and the employee role and the employee contact. Here's all the data for the material table, such as the material ID, the employee ID, the material name, material type, the supplier, the cost, and the stock quantity. Next, for each table, we perform a query using one aggregated function. For our customer table, we use the count function to count the total numbers from the customer table. For the project table, we use the count function to count the total projects from each from the project table. For the payment table, we use the sum function to count the total payments from the payment table. And for the estimate table, we use the average function to estimate the average estimate from estimate tables. As well, for the compliance table, we use the count function to count the approval permits where the approval status equaled approved. For the performance table, we use the average function to find the average rating from each performance table. For the appointment table, we use the count function to count the total appointments from the appointment table. And for the employee table, we use the count function to count the total of employees from the employee table. As for the material table, we use the sum function to count the total stock from materials.
And now for each relationship, we'll perform a joint query on tables that will show how they're directly related through their relationships. First, we have our customer payment relationship, where you have customer can have more than one payment or one. Next is our direct relationship for customer and appointment, where a customer can book many appointments. Our next is an employee appointment relationship, where an employee can be assigned to many appointments or one. We then have the employee relationship, employee project relationship, where an employee can manage one project or many. Then we have the direct relationship between customer and project, where a customer can have many projects or one. We have a project and estimate relationship, where a project has one cost estimate. We have our direct relationship between project and compliance, where a project may have multiple compliance permits or one. We have a direct relationship between payment and performance, where a payment can be related to one's performance rating. And lastly, we have the employee material relationship, where an employee can manage various materials. And that is our project. Thank you very much.